PMAP, the Board of Trustees, their officers and President, Ms. Luisa Maria Echeverria, and Executive Director, Rene Henner, we would like to welcome you in today's webinar. This is through the training arm of PMAP, which is the Asian Institute of HRM, and special thanks to its president, Ms. Lucy Tarelia, officers, trustees, and our professional staff, especially Jeff, for making this online session possible. Good morning, everybody. It's so hard to do a talk without interaction, but we must go on, okay? So what are the drivers of employee engagement? But before we begin, I would like to say that all your questions, please put it in the Q&A and I will answer them after this webinar, okay? So they say that great vision without great people is irrelevant. And employees comes first. If you take care of your employees, they will take care of your clients. So who said this? Richard Branson. So they must have reasons as to why they are saying this. So question number one, what is the most important asset of your organization? Is it information technology? Is it capital assets? Is it the people? Or is it your customers? So to answer this, please go to Menti. Okay, what do you think? How many people have answered? Come on, guys. Give me at least 50 answers. Come on, come on. Okay, it seems that we have a winner, which is people. This is correct. So let me go back to my slides. Okay, so the answer is people. The people in the organization is the most important assets of the company. Why? Because peso value per peso value is your competitor has 100 billion and you have 100 billion. That's the same thing. But there will only be one talented Tom and one talented Jerry and one talented Maria and one talented Anna. Okay? So let's move on. Wait, it hanged. Can you see me? Oh, shit. Can you see it now? Sir Jeff, nakikita na ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So we'll now go to the topics for this webinar. First, we'll discuss a bit about employee behavior, then the levels of employee engagement, then the drivers of engagement, then what's the difference between engagement and commitment, and what do we do during these challenging times. So employee behavior in organizations. As you know, organizational behavior studies three determinants: the individuals, the groups, and the structure. Well, we all belong to a certain organization, and that organization is the structure or the system that we belong to. But when you break this down, this now becomes what? Our departments or our divisions. And this is now the groups, okay, of that organization. As we belong to a certain division or department, it is further subdivided into smaller groups. And then finally, each and everybody belonging to that group is called the individual. So these are the employees in the group. So in other words, in science, this is nothing more than psychology, the study of the individual, sociology, the study of groups, and anthropology, the study of the whole cultural system. So psychology will measure and explain and change and try to change our behavior. This study workplace relation, studies attitudes and behaviors. Sociology studies people in relation to their social culture and environment. This studies the impact of culture on group behavior and contributed to the field of, okay, but these are all other topics, group dynamics, communications, and one of my favorites, power and conflict. Anthropology is study relating to the human activities within the environment. It understands the difference in behavior based on cultures in various countries. The study of the organizational environment. So that is why Filipinos behave differently, Asians behave differently from Europeans, from Americans, no? Okay, so again, please go to your Menti. What are the 3 determinants of organizations? Go, go, go! Okay, what are they? What are they? Please answer. Some of the participants are my former students. Yes. Miss Beng, Miss Jill, are you there? More answers, please. Pressy is there. Hello, Pressy. Rowan, are you there? Okay, how many have answered? If we have 50 answers, that's good. So at least now we know that. Can I share my slide now? My screen now? Okay. So we know that the answers are individuals, the groups, and the structure. Thank you for participating. So question 3, why do managers need to understand organizational behavior? I suppose you're all managers. That's why you're in this webinar. So please, again, go to your Menti. Miss J, I'm giving to you so you can show the answers, okay? Which one? Which one? Why do you need to understand organizational behavior? For better employee engagement? Yes, what else? Enhance skills, motivate people. Okay, so if you see here, the correct answer is really all of those, all of the above. So all of these are needed by the managers to understand organizational behavior. So now let's go to our second topic, which is the levels of employee engagement. Employee engagement is the involvement with and the enthusiasm for work. So engaged employees are committed to their organizations and give companies crucial competitive advantage. So what does this mean? When you get engaged, what is your promise? When you physically, or when we in nature, when we get engaged to somebody, what do you promise? It's a promise to be faithful to this one and only, correct? Well, you can see this engagement in people in this lockdown, and you now can identify who the people who are engaged people in this lockdown. So, sorry, wait, backspace. There, okay, so And now we talk of competitive advantage. Employees are committed to their organizations and give companies crucial competitive advantage. But what is competitive advantage? Competitive advantage is having something, someone, which your competitors don't have. It is your edge over your competition. Why do you need this edge? So that, of course, you will gain more profit and you will have better sales. No? So engaged employees work harder, are more loyal, go the extra mile, and yield significant savings. Engaged employees are builders. They use their talents, they drive innovation, they move the organization forward. So, some people are engaged, okay? When you get engaged, what do? You give in the office, you give your time and effort. But when we are engaged to someone, there's one thing more that we give to them. And what is that? Okay, that is the money. Okay, we give our time, effort, and money, right? Right, gentlemen? You have to give some money to your girls. Okay, so anyway, the second is those who are not engaged. This is a wait and see attitude. They hang back, they don't commit. So what is this? Simply means this is testing the waters. They're just always testing, testing, and testing, okay? Then you have the actively disengaged. They undermine the performance of others. They sink employee morale and performance. They are negative, they are toxic, and they are contagious. Okay, what is their motto? Oh no, we're never going to make it. Oh no, this lockdown is not going to finish. Oh no, we're never going to get paid. Okay, there is always a problem for every situation. So again, let's go to Menti. What are the 3 levels of employee engagement? Please answer. Okay, if you see here, I suppose all of you also know what is your answer. Okay, you have the engaged, the actively disengaged, the unengaged. Okay, so correct. So can I now share my screen? So to answer your questions, we have the engaged, the not engaged, and the actively disengaged. So why do employees, engaged employees, give their company? What do they give? What do they give? We've discussed this. So I'll stop again so that you can go to your Menti, you go to your menti.com, yes. Okay, there is it. The number 1 answer is competitive advantage. I'll now again share my screen, guys. Okay, but very important, please remember competitive advantage comes in many forms, not just people, but it can also be with technology, with a software, okay? So question 6, Why does employee engagement matter? Is it for better profit, for lesser turnover, for better performance, or for having competitive advantage? Again, please go to menti.com. Come on, come on. At least I need 50 answers. Okay, so can I now share my screen? Your top one answer is for having competitive advantage. But actually, employee engagement matters because all of this is the correct answer. So, why does employee engagement really matter? Because physical health, psychological well-being affect the quality and quantity of our work. Okay, when we are in love, we are very happy. Even in a rainy day, it becomes a bright day. And even the lockdown and the quarantine is fine as long as what? There's Viber, there's Zoom, there's Skype, okay? There's a chat group, okay? As long as you can communicate with one another, okay? So, do you know that 62% of an engaged employees feel their work positively affects their physical health? And 39 only among the non-engaged employees, and 22 for the actively disengaged. Highly engaged teams show what? 21% greater profitability, which is what our bosses want. 17% more productive, and 40% less turnover. So yes, for the HR, we want 40% less turnover, right? So employee engagement by region, according to Aon, is these. In the Asia Pacific, 65% are engaged. In Latin America, 75%. In North America, 64%. In Europe, 60%. And in Africa, 66%. And the top engagement opportunities, according to the survey that they have given, are rewards and recognition, senior leadership, career opportunities, employee value proposition, and enabling infrastructure. But here in the Asia Pacific region, if they break it down, do you see where we are? The Philippines has, oh, start my video. Okay, I'm sorry, I did not start my video. Okay, the Philippines has 71% employee engaged people. If you see here, do you believe? Okay, can you please give me your answer? Do you believe that, or can you tell me how many percent in your organization? It's not here. My dear IT people, it's not here, but can I stop sharing so that they can tell me how many percent is engaged in their organizations? So how many are engaged? How many? Can you type how many are engaged? In your company, 95, 50, okay? How many? Just two answers? 19? Oh, come on, 99? Really? 100% engaged? How many are employed? Two? Okay, I believe you, okay? So, can I now share my screen again? There, okay? So, this is a study made by Aon in 2018, and it says that 71% in the Philippines is engaged, no? So, I really hope this is true because we want to have good employee engagement. Wait, there, okay. Top engagement opportunities in the Philippines, okay, for 2017 is talent and staffing, empowerment and autonomy, rewards and recognition, career development, and senior leadership. So, talent and staffing here in the survey of Aon means to say this is the attraction and the retention of the people in the organization. While empowerment means removing all the hindrances to make the right decision. So this is empowering the managers, empowering even your supervisors. Okay. Okay, so engaged employees, according to Aon, this is their framework. This is their basic engaged employee framework. They say stay, and strive. What does say mean? Say means speak positively about the organization to your coworkers, to your potential employees, and your consumers. Okay? Say good things. Say something and mean it. I would not hesitate to recommend this organization to a friend seeking employment. Given the opportunity, I tell others great things. So this is saying something that is good about the company. The second one is stay. They stay in the organization. Why? Because they have an intense sense of belonging and the desire to be part of the organization. It would take a lot to get me to leave this organization. I really think about leaving this organization. I really think about leaving this organization. So they want to stay. Why? This is in the Maslow's hierarchy of need. There is a sense of belongingness. Why? Because also in real life, engaged people, happy engaged couples don't change each other just like that. They're happy to stay with one another. Okay? So the last is strive. They are motivated and exert efforts towards success in their job and for the company. This organization inspires me to do my best, work every day. This organization motivates me to contribute more than is normally required to complete my work. Strive. This means to say that the relationship has built into something that is good and great. Solid. They have a very solid and secure relationship. This is wherein the employees now are becoming proactive. They are always now finding solutions to every problem. They work together as a team. So this is the last stage, strive. Okay. So again, let's go to your mentee. So what are the top engagement opportunities in the Philippines? We've just flashed it on the screen. So let's see your answers, please. Talent and staffing, rewards, what else? Career development, empowerment, autonomy, rewards and recognition, career development. Okay, I guess you've got it correct. So can I now share my screen? So correct, you are correct. So they are talent and staffing, empowerment, rewards and recognition, career development, and senior leadership. This is again done by the study of Aon last 2017, published 2018, and this is the order in which they appear on the engagement opportunities in the Philippines. So what are the employee engagement drivers? What do you think? Okay. The employee engagement driver is nothing more than a rational commitment and an emotional commitment. So the rational commitment is the rational aspect of the commitment based on salary, monetary benefits, job growth. Rational commitment is the what that you agree to give to an organization when you're hired. Your time, your talent, your energy in exchange for financial compensation, professional development opportunities, and the chance to fulfill your career ambitions. This is what you get for the efforts that you give. While emotional commitment is based on your work ethics, your beliefs, your sense of satisfaction with regards to your job choice. Emotional commitment is the why, the passion, and the purpose behind your work. Emotional commitment is what keeps the employees in the relationship with the organization. These increase in confidence, complete satisfaction in the work status, you feel valued and secured in your position. So what really is commitment? This is nothing more than loyalty. For example, if you're a call center agent and you have a very good pay, but now, to survive in the current crisis, your office tells you that you now have to lie about the location of your call center. And if that goes against your values and ethics, where will your sense of commitment be? So you will now think, will I stay or will I go? So your pay is fantastic, but what about your morals and ethics and value? So this is now a dilemma for you. Or another example, for today's health workers, okay, we know that the COVID-19 is contagious, right? And the health workers, especially the doctors and the nurses, they are really the ones that are taking care of the patients. So, but for them, is the pay worth it now? Is the pay worth what they're going through and taking care of a patient? And some patients, they will not even maybe charge professional fees because they don't have the capacity to pay. So this is now an emotional commitment instead of a rational commitment. Why? Because healthcare workers, health professionals, what? They go above and beyond their call of duty. So these are the two types of commitment, no? So the Corporate Leadership Council recently surveyed 50,000 employees from 59 different organizations in 27 countries representing 10 industry groups. And what did they find out? And they found out that emotional commitment is 4 times as valuable as rational commitment in driving discretionary effort among employees. Again, emotional commitment. Okay, so I just got a text that please slow down. I'm sorry because I'm hyperactive, so I will slow down, okay? So emotional commitment is 4 times as valuable as rational commitment in driving discretionary effort among the employees. Okay, so I don't need to explain this because I've explained this a while ago. So emotions really have a stronger bond than financial gain or rational commitment, no? Okay, so discretionary effort, what is this? Okay, this means to say you raise your hand to take on more work, you offer to assist others when they are overloaded, you proactively go the extra mile to drive results without anyone asking for your assistance. This is a discretionary effort. Somebody in your organization says, okay, we need to have extra drivers, extra delivery people. And you say, okay, I'm going to go, even if there's an invisible war out there. What else? Manufacturing company, the people in the production, okay, what do they do? They need to go to work. So how will they go to work? It's okay, I live nearby. I will do the 1 hour walk to the office or to the factory and 1 hour going back. Okay, what is this? This is discretionary effort. You don't need to do it, but you will do it. Okay, so these are the things that are needed so that you do the extra mile. Okay, healthcare workers, okay, going above and beyond their call of duty. Okay, they're already so stressed out. Okay, 24-hour shifts. They now extend it to even what? Maybe even up to 36. I don't know. But if you have seen the pictures, they're all overwhelmed. Why? Because of the many, many patients that we have who have COVID. So this is discretionary effort, going the extra mile. Then the research by the Corporate Leadership Council, okay, says that engaged employees perform 20% better and 80% likely to leave the organization. As an HR practitioner, we don't we like to have them perform better, yes, but it is a very tedious job if we really have to recruit and select employees. It is time consuming, it is very stressful, and it is hard to train them into the organizational culture that we live in. So this is very good news that 87% are less likely to leave the organization. Okay, so with higher employee performance, there is going to be naturally higher what? Higher profits for the organization. And we can just dream what? That we will also have higher pay. Well, we hope so, okay? Then in Carnegie, okay, research in Carnegie training indicated that 69% of disengaged employees would leave their current job for just 5% pay. So means to say they are not happy with where they are. So they want to leave your organization. Now, research by Aon again shows that employee engagement is a leading indicator of company growth, only second to economic forces. Now, this is very, very important statement in our current situation. Because of our lockdown, our economy will not be doing very well. So what will now push the company forward? It is employee engagement, because this is now the leading indicator of company growth. Why? Because everybody now who is engaged will give that discretionary effort to move one step forward. Just imagine if all the doctors says, I don't like to go to work anymore because I might get infected with COVID. Okay? So all doctors are engaged. We must have people like that so that our company can grow. Okay? So question number 8. Emotional engagement is how many times more valuable than rational engagement? Okay, so please again go to your Menti. I'll stop my slide share for a while. So I'll give you to our IT support. Go! How many times more? How many times more is emotional engagement more valuable than rational engagement? Go! 4. 4. Guys, where did you get 80 and 20? Pareto principle ba to? 4 times. Yes. Okay. So that is the correct answer. It is 4 times more valuable. Can I now share my screen? Okay. So how many times? 4 times more valuable. Okay. So again, question 9. Motivated people are more likely to be engaged in their day-to-day work because what effort do they have in their norm? Again, please go to your menti.com. Yes, discretionary effort. Okay, so I've explained what is discretionary effort. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your answers. So can I now share my screen? So having discretionary effort in their norm. Okay, so let's now go to another topic, which is employee engagement and commitment. We've discussed what is employee engagement. This is the involvement with and the enthusiasm for work. Commitment is the bond employees experience with their organization, the strength of the individual's identification and involvement in the organization. Okay, so what's the difference? Employee engagement is when the employees show interest in their job, while the commitment is the employees feel proud to go to work. Engagement is where they are willing to exert an extra discretionary effort to get the desired results, and the commitment is the employee's satisfaction as well as identification with the organization. Okay? So employee engagement and commitment are two of the necessary endeavors in the organization, which they must invest their time and effort. So employee engagement and commitment cannot really be separated because they're twins, so to speak. They're a cause and the effect, no? So both are different, as engagement drives commitment, whereas the reverse is not possible. Okay, the cause and the effect. Commitment cannot be achieved without employee engagement. Just as when we get engaged, what is the purpose when we give that ring to our beloved someone? This is means to say you are engaged. And once you are engaged, what happens? You are making a commitment to be faithful and loyal to them, correct? So we now invest our time, our effort, and of course your money with your engaged half. Okay, so we take care of this other person. So engagement and commitment is also taking care of the company, not just because we're going to get money from working, but because we love the place where we work for. Okay, so what are the three components of employee commitment? We have affective, you have the affection for your job, you have continuance commitment, which is fear of losing your job. You have normative commitment. You have a sense of obligation to stay. Let's go a little bit deeper and try to analyze further what are these types of commitment, no? So affective commitment is the emotional attachment to your organization. Employees stay because what? They want to stay, okay? So it is because I love my job, okay? I want to stay. The underlying reason is you're so happy with your job. The next is continuance commitment. Employees believe that leaving the organization would be costly. Employees feel that they must stay, okay? Like what? But I've invested too much time and effort in this organization. Okay, I'm so comfortable with doing this. I don't know if I can do anything else, right? Okay, so this is now the feeling that they must stay. Normative commitment is the sense of obligation to the organization, even if you want to pursue better opportunities. Staying is the right thing to do. The employees believe they ought to stay. So what is this? Okay, because this is the company of my ninong, I have to stay here. Because daddy recommended me here, so I have to stay here. Because boss gave me this opportunity, so I have to stay here. So this is a sense of indebtedness, a sense of gratitude, no? So that's why you're only staying for that, not because you love to stay or not because you like to stay, no? So what is the best component? Of course, the best is affective component or the affective commitment. These people feel passionate for their roles and desires to stay. Okay, to retain them, they must have positive emotions at work. They must align the teams and roles with their skills and interests. They must find purpose in their work and create enjoyment in their work. Actually, effective people have effective commitment because they know how to bring this about in their daily work. They are positive in themselves. They know how to adjust to their jobs. They know how to find meaning, okay? So if you're an artist, you find meaning. If you're in HR, you love to deal with people, okay? They create enjoyment. Okay, who here enjoys Working from home? Okay, I'm sure I will see a lot of hands if I can preview you. But of course, all of you like to work from home. Why? Because it's more comfortable. Unless, of course, you have a crush in the office that you can't see anymore right now, no? Okay. So next, question 10. Engagement drives commitment, whereas the reverse is not possible. Okay? Is this true or false? Again, please go to menti.com. Okay, true or false? Engagement drives commitment, whereas the reverse is not possible. Please answer true or false. Come on, come on. So can I get 50 answers again? At least 50, please, please. You know, the new normal will be maybe a webinar seminar, no? So if this will be the case, I can now practice talking to the wall. Okay, thank you. So it is true that engagement drives commitment and the reverse is not possible. Thank you, Miss IT. Thank you, Miss J. Okay, so I will now share my screen. So the answer is true. Question 11. The most important enabler of employees' commitment to their jobs, organization, and team is who? Who is the most important enabler? Okay, I'll stop share and you can give me your answers. This one I will find very, very interesting who you're going to write here. I like your answer, myself. Okay. The HR, very good HR people. I give you a clap of hands. You think you're very, very valuable. Okay, management, who else? Employees and the individuals, the managers, the self, okay, leaders. Okay, thank you, thank you. So, can I now share my screen? Okay, so the most important enabler is, of course, who? Your manager. Well, as the saying goes, right? People join organizations because of the company, but because they live because of their bosses. Because the bosses are, sorry, I can't say it. In class or in the seminar, I usually say it because some bosses are what? B and B. Okay? So you know what they are. So the manager is the most important enabler in the organization. Why? Because the manager gives you motivation, drives you to success, coaches you, supports you. So leadership here is very, very important. Question 12. What engagement techniques are you now applying in your organization? Okay, the answer to this is quite long. So I'll give you some time to think, and then maybe you can just write a short phrase so that our IT will not be overwhelmed. Okay, I'm going to transfer this to them. Thank you for answering. Mentoring, constant communication with the staff, collaboration, mentoring. Can I have some more answers, please? Okay, coaching, team building, remote learning and development, maximizing online platform during ECQ, feedback, creating and sharing a vision, communicating. Oh, salary increase. Very good. Do you know that I'm sure my former student, Miss Beng, who's working for Schumart, will be very happy because my daughter is working at BDO. I think they have 1,000 extra per day. She does not know what it's for, but every time they go to work, they have 1,000 pesos extra. Thank you for that, BDO. So I think that is what you can consider a hazard pay, right? So you have collaboration, okay, establishing open communication, health and wellness program, yes, because psychologically speaking, we are social creatures, and because there's a lockdown, we can no longer interact, no? So we need to have some sense of healthness and wellness program, okay? On the spot praising, very good. Team herder, oh, I like this. Coffee table discussion and open communication, yes. What else? On the spot, what else? Can you show me the ones on top, please? Rewards and recognition, empowerment. Yes, we now have to learn how to empower people. Why? Because they cannot be part of the office now wherein you just turn around or go to the next office and say, boss, what are we gonna do? Now you have to email or you have to chat, and sometimes they won't give you answers right away. So you have to learn how to empower your people, okay? So what else? Soft skill training for managers, investing. Can I read this, please? Can you scroll down? Scroll down, please. No, up, I'm sorry, up, scroll up. Soft skills training, stop, scroll down there. Soft skills training for managers, investing in continuous learning, coaching and feedback, collaboration to support team members during crisis. Yes, we need to support one another. We need to be team players, and we need to take care of our teammates. Biblical principles, collaboration, employee involvement. I don't know what is G time, but I hope you can answer me later. What is G time? Work culture awareness, no? And okay, so many others. So very good that you're doing all of this. So can I now go back to my screen? Okay, so what employee engagement techniques are you applying? We've answered them, and thank you for sharing. So employee engagement during the lockdown. So we now have a lockdown, and what are we supposed to do during this lockdown? How is it going to affect our employees, right? So in times of uncertainty and disruption, we have to refocus on basic engagement elements. This is one, clarifying expectations. By the way, this is according to Gallup meta-analysis recently, no? So what does this mean? Clarifying expectation. Why? Because everything now is not normal. Everything now is new. When we go back to work, there will now be a different business model, because you would not want to share a ride now with somebody you don't know simply because you don't know if they are contagious or not. So what are you doing when you clarify expectation? You clarify now that when you work from home, this is what I expect. When only 50% of the employees go to work, this is what we expect, okay? We expect you to go 1 week to work, 1 week no work. We expect you to work only 3 times a week or 2 times a week. So this is clarifying your expectation. And of course, your output. You have to tell them also now, okay? What will my output be, okay? Look, when we're in the office and your staff is 8 to 5, you have a log in and a log out. But how do you now expect them to log in and to log out? Maybe you can tell them log out on your screen, log in on your screen, but how do you know what they're doing? So maybe now you will have different metrics of measurement in logging in and logging out. So it will now be output based, right? So clarifying expectation, because now is not normal. Now we are on the trial phase of what we will be doing. So clarify this expectation. Discuss, okay? Talk about your new protocols and your sense of what's this? Procedures and processes. Number two, have the materials and equipment needed. Okay, what's the new normal? We don't know, right? So what are your materials? So now everybody is looking for better technology, faster internet. If you want your people to work from home and they don't have internet access, what do? You now have to provide them the internet access that you are putting into the company as they work from home. I don't know, but you must be able to provide this. Like, for example, we have an artist, and our artist needs to work on what? On doing digital, on doing animation. So therefore, as an artist working from home, you must have the proper equipment, the proper software, the proper laptop, everything to be able to do your work well, okay? As the saying goes, you can't go to war without proper bullets. Reconfiguring jobs. This is the hard task. As an HR, we do redesign. This is now the time for you to redesign your jobs. Okay, redefine your job duties and responsibilities. Okay, this is now the time for you to make adjustments. Okay, what will we do? How will we minimize the risk of this employee? Can they work from home? Because this is now the time of a lockdown. So we need to reconfigure this job. Okay. So at the basic level, they should be overall well-being and good experiences. Yes, even in quarantine. We must feel overall good and we must have a sense of well-being. So what are these things? No? Well, well-being is multidimensional and includes emotional well-being. So when you say emotional well-being, you are talking of having less stress and no harassment. Okay, so how can you have less stress when there is COVID? Okay, so maybe did your company provide your staff with face mask if they're going to work? Did your company provide them what's this emotional security of having a means of transportation to go to work? Because these are all related. So spiritual is their meaning and purpose in life. So if you see here, people are now going back to God. Let's face it, no? With this COVID, we are all going back to God. Why? Because rich, poor, young, old, whatever race you belong to, you're not exempted from getting COVID. And you don't know if you're going to get it or not. We don't even really know if it's in the air or not in the air. So we are trying to stay indoors. So if you catch it, whether you're rich or poor, you catch it. You can't say, no, I'm not going to catch it. No? So intellectual, what is intellectual? This is meaning to say well-being is you're still making use of the talents that they have. No, you're making use of their skills and their abilities. Okay, so this is intellectual well-being. They feel wherein they feel that they are useful to the organization. Physical well-being, what is this? You take care of their safety. Okay, they can sleep well, they can eat well. So if you see here, no work, no pay, correct? So in your companies, how can you say that you're taking care of the physical well-being of the employees if they don't get paid? What now? Okay, most of the employees in the organization are middle class. Okay, economic class C. So economic class C, maybe they have a savings, but it won't last that long. So what are you planning to do with this? Physical, okay? Safety, sleep, exercise, and food. Okay, food, the basic commodity. If they can't eat, what will happen? If you don't make them go to work, what will happen? Then environmental. This is the interactions of the employees with the environment. This is the cleanliness of the environment. Okay, so now we know that our environment is not clean because of the COVID. No? So how can you help protect your employees from this environmental crisis? Again, maybe you can tell them also to do proper waste disposal, because as you can see in the internet, again, there are so many face masks being discarded improperly. So this is all part of environmental. Then you have financial. Financial is means to say they have adequate financial means, okay? So the higher the risk, the higher the pay. So again, I applaud BDO for giving 1,000 for their people just simply going to work, because they have that extra income, no? I don't know if it's called the hazard pay. I don't know what it is, but thank you for that. So that is financial, no? Adequate savings and income so that they will have the other necessities of well-being, like their physical, emotional well-being, okay? What is occupational, okay? Occupational is nothing more than you lessen the hazardousness of the job, okay? Right now, all of us is in lockdown. Okay, so who are the frontliners also? The people delivering our food, our garbage collector, the people, the farmers in the field, so that we will have food to eat. These are the occupational well-being. So how do we ensure their well-being, right? So to lessen the hazards of the job, maybe you can give them PPEs. I don't know, maybe the government or the municipal people can give the garbage collectors some protective equipment also, like a shield, like a gloves, like the mask. I don't know, no? But this means to say we are uh, fully provided because our occupation is hazardous. Let's talk again of doctors and nurses. So some of the government offices, maybe not now, but before, they didn't have enough PPEs. So this is an occupational hazard. So you're asking them to go to war without the proper gears is not fair. So this is occupational well-being. We must take into consideration the occupational well-being of these people, okay? Now, what is social? Social well-being is, I think, Filipinos' favorite because we are really so socially adept people, no? We have so much friends. We like to communicate and talk. So if you see, again, there are some people who does some gatherings, which is not good at this point in time, but we can't help it, we say, because we're all social creatures. So we have a support system. So social is support. So we try to give this, okay? I have a friend, he is a COVID patient, and thank God he's not critical, but he's still in isolation. So what social support can we give? We just text him, we give them Facebook messages and tell them, hey, we're here for you. This is a social well-being. So if we don't get this, the psychiatrists and the psychologists, they will have problems because we might all go crazy, okay? So, do you know that we need 8 hugs a day according to Helpline? Okay. So, here it is. I'm giving you 8 hugs, no? As I give you 8 hugs, these are the icons from Google, from Apple, from Facebook, from I don't know where, but these are all the hugs. So, come on, people, let's give ourselves a hug. Okay, 8 hugs because we really, really need this. We really need to have 8 hugs a day to remain sane and healthy, okay? So, organizations can support employees' overall well-being as they adjust their policies, workplace incentives to temporary new normal. So have you done this? Have you changed certain policies? Okay, so before we need to have something signed. So how do you now sign this? Will you now accept electronic signatures? How are you now going to provide for your standard operating procedures? Have you changed it? You have to work on this. So people in each department will now have to see how they can work to keep the economy going, to keep the company working and making money, okay? So, and then workplace. Of course, our workplace has changed. What is now our workplace? Your bed, yes, okay? Your couch, okay? Your dining table because you want to eat. So these are our new workplaces. And what is the incentive now, okay? Incentive is, I don't know, maybe there's a hazard pay. Incentive is uh, you still get the same pay working from home. So these are all the temporary new normal. So we now have to look in, as an HR practitioner, we now have to look into our company policies and procedures. We now have to look into our rewards, into our benefits. How can we help these people so that they will be able to work well, okay? So a key factor lies in equipping managers to individualize to each person's situation. What does this mean? This simply means that each person is different and we have to adjust to their skills, needs, and talents. Okay, let's say you are not adept at doing computer, but you have to work from home. So somebody will now have to tutor you, okay? So now online is the thing. What else? Adjust to each individual person's situation. Maybe you have somebody, okay, who is your delivery guy, okay? So motor guy, delivery guy, okay, whatever it is. But he does not have a mode of transportation going to and from the office. So what do? Maybe you can lend him the company motorcycle so that he can bring it home. So he will have a more convenient way of traveling, and therefore he can do his job well. So these are factors wherein you will equip your people to the certain situation that they are facing in. I don't know what company you're in, but you have to think of ways and means so that the operations will not stop, no? So learn to work remotely. Be technology ready, okay? I think this will be the new norm, okay? And understand that there will be changes. Changes in what? Communication. How is communication change? Like now, this is a change in communication. Why? Because I'm talking to you via the web. It's no longer a face-to-face meeting in a seminar room. So our mode of communication is different. There is no interaction, which for me is very hard because I don't know if you're getting what I'm trying to say, and I don't know if you're sleeping there on your bed or on your couch, no? So communication will change. Work processes will change. Wherein before, maybe you have a hierarchy of things to do. Maybe now you will eliminate some processes so that there is a direct means of achieving your end goal or results. And then, of course, we have our guidelines and policies. So again, please read them. So for example, guidelines and policies, 8 to 5. How will you now log in your 8 to 5? Will you consider them late if they don't answer your phone at 8 o'clock? I don't know. So you have to look into this, right? Okay. So question 13. Why is employee engagement crucial today? Is it just because of the changing environment? Is it because of the vanishing distances? Is it because of the technology needed? Or is it because of competition? So I will now give you back to our IT, Jeff or Jay. Okay, so we will see your answers. Please answer. Thank you. Go, go, go. Answer, answer. Miss J, this is not the question. Miss J. Why is employee engagement crucial today is the question. Why is employee engagement crucial today? Okay, changing environment, vanishing distances, improved technology, competition. So, of course, your answer right now, I think, will be really the changing environment. Why? Because there's a new norm. And we really don't know what will happen. After post-COVID, we don't know what will happen. So how employee engagement, because behavior will be different, right? So we really don't know how it will change, no? So can I now go back to my screen? Okay, so why is employee engagement crucial today? Of course, your answer is changing environment. That is the number one reason now, right? But of course, technology, competition, and vanishing distances have something to do with it. But the number one reason now is correct. It's because of this environment, the COVID environment, no? So next question, okay? This is my last question, and then we will be answering all your questions or queries here in the web, and I'll try to answer them the best that I can. But this is a trivia question. So who was the first to get engaged in history, right? So it's Archduke Maximilian to Mary of Burgundy, Napoleon Bonaparte to Josephine, and Henry VIII to Catherine. So which do you think? Who was the one to get engaged in history? Okay, I'll give you now to our IT, Miss J. Come on, give me 50 answers. 50, 50, 50. Come on, come on. Let's see if you got the correct answer. You'll get a virtual prize, which is a virtual hug. Come on, come on. No cheating. Don't search it. But it's very hard to search. But no cheating. Please don't search it in the internet. Okay, it seems we have a winner, which is Napoleon. So can I now get back my screen? Okay. So do you know the answer? I don't think I wrote the answer, but the answer is Archduke Maximilian to Mary of Burgundy. And do you know what year this is? This is in 1477. Again, I say this is in 1477. And they got engaged. This is the first recorded engagement in history. So in the olden days, I mean to say in the maybe in the 1200s, people might have been getting engaged, but it was not recorded. This is the first recorded engagement in history. So that's the end. Thank you. And now I will try to answer your questions. So there's one here that says, how is employee engagement measured? Okay, if you're an HR, there are many measurement of how to measure engagement, and one of them will be what measuring it in terms of employee performance. Okay, so the higher, if the performance has improved, then the person is engaged. How else do you measure performance and engagement? If they are not late, if they have discretionary effort on everything, then they are engaged. Again, I want you to go back and think of our doctors. If our doctors and nurses were not engaged, they would not be going back to work. Even, I don't know right now how many doctors and nurses have died, but I think it's less than 100, but that's still a lot. But with this ratio, knowing that their lives is at risk, they would not want to go to work. So this is engagement in its proper sense. Going to the war, okay? So being there, being proactive, having good performance, not being late, okay? Having time to be with them, okay? Be with the organization, okay? So the answer is another question, okay? So what if you don't receive a good compensation, plus the boss is insincere and indifferent, but you have to stay at work because of your personal need? What driver is this? Okay, so what driver? We only have two drivers, right? Emotional and rational. So I think you're staying only for the rational thing because you need compensation. But then again, okay, I have more questions here in my phone, but let me answer first here. There are 14 questions here in the Q&A, so I'll try to answer all of this first. So I think if you don't receive good compensation and the boss is insincere and different, but you have to stay at work because of your personal needs, what driver is this? Okay, this is a you're just doing it rational, di ba? You're just doing it because of wait, let me see. How will I put this better? Excuse me. So let me wait. I'm looking for my slide so that I can answer you with what's written on my slide. Okay, this is a rational commitment. If that's your question, wait, where's your question? So this is your question. What if you don't receive a good compensation? What driver is this? So this is a rational commitment, okay? So, but of course, we now know that you are not engaged in your work. So I really hope you get engaged in your work, okay? So this is answered. Okay, what is the difference between work engagement and employee engagement? I think they're synonymous, okay? Because you get engaged. Work engagement is more of employee commitment because you are committed to your work, okay? How can we incorporate the importance of employee engagement to the work culture of the environment? Incorporating employee engagement, well, you must have certain strategies and techniques so that you can incorporate it into your work culture. So as we all know, culture starts from the top. So if your bosses don't start a very good culture, then it's kind of hard to establish. What are the factors that affect the employee's sense of engagement and commitment? So again, what will affect this is the discretionary effort and their intent to stay. And there are people, okay, who will make them engaged and committed. And we've answered this a while ago. Who is the most important factor here? The manager, okay? So when your manager supports you, when your manager coaches you, when your manager knows how to bring out the best in you, so you will be better engaged and better committed. So what are the factors of engagement and committed? Number one, I think, will be the manager. Of course, you must also like the work that you're doing. You must also have the same culture as the organization and other things, no? Okay. Given the new normal, where changing environment is apparent, will the employee engagement enabler still fall only to the manager supervisor? Are we discounting employee internal motivation? No accountability? Of course, we've discussed this on the first part. what are the things that make up the organization? It's the individual. So individual, the group, and then the organization. So of course, I agree that it doesn't belong to the manager or to the supervisor alone. You yourself, your personality, your attitudes, your beliefs, okay, your standards and norms, these are all part and parcel for you to become a better engaged employee, okay? How do you measure employee engagement? I've answered this. So you can measure it by the performance, by looking into whether they're going to work on time or not, okay? What would be the best employee engagement for BPO having different work arrangement? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with how the BPO industry is doing, but so as of now, I really can't answer this, no? Man, what is the best engagement activity when we go back home to the office after work from home, set up for almost 2 months, okay? Best engagement activity is maybe you can have a meeting, but not a big meeting, but per department, per divisions, and then you can now to see what were the standards, the protocols, the techniques that you applied while working from home in these 2 months, and then getting the best out of them so that you can incorporate it now in your new business model, okay? Next is, what are the actionable things that we can do as HR people to drive employee engagement, okay? So how will you now give rational and emotional commitment, okay? So if you see there in my slide, rational commitment comprises the teams, the managers, and the organizations. So make sure that you work as a team, you have a good manager, and the organization is supporting, no? And then emotional commitment is the job. So is there a job fit? Okay, team. So are they all team players? Is the manager supportive? So these are all the things that you need, okay, so that you, the HR people, can help in employee engagement. So who is the greatest enabler of doctors? I don't get this. Who is the greatest enabler of the doctors who go to work? Not the managers, right? If you're saying, if I get your question correctly, again, for those who did not hear me, I will repeat. Who is the greatest enabler of the doctors who go to work? Not their managers, right? Okay, so the greatest enabler of doctors is they themselves. I know this because my child, my daughter is really a fellow, okay? So she's a pulmonology fellow in one of the tertiary hospitals here in Metro Manila. And as a mother, I can say that, of course, I'm worried because she is definitely a frontliner, and every day she goes to war. And but then doctors have what they call the Hippocratic Oath, and this is a call to duty above and beyond. This is a call to serve the people, whatever race, whatever age, whatever social standing they have. Okay, so the greatest enabler of the doctor is their oath. Okay, but what I'm telling you is they will not be a doctor if they did not like to be a doctor. 10 years of studying is no joke. Okay, so I'll go to the next question. As an HR, what is the better engagement to do after this EOQ? As of now, I can't think what is the better engagement, but I'm sure the people who have been giving suggestion will be the one who will give you the ideas on what to do about employee engagement after this ECQ, okay? How can we measure employee engagement during this time? What strategies can we employ, okay? Again, I don't know what industry you're in, but engagement during this time can be done in people going to work. Like me, I'm partially in sales, so is my sales still okay? So I know that my people are still engaged. But what if you're in the bank? So maybe you can also measure in terms of service. Are your clients happy about your service? So these are the different things of employee engagement. I can't answer you technically, because each industry will have a different employee engagement technique. Can you recommend any employee engagement survey? Yes, I think there's an employee engagement survey online, but you have to tweak it, no? So this is the, I think it's the Gallup Q12 survey, right? Okay, so you can try that, no? Then, how do we sustain employee engagement in this era? How do we measure success of our employee engagement initiatives? Again, we've discussed this in this module, that we can know if our people are engaged because there will be more productivity and therefore more profit and less turnover. Okay, so what if your boss has favoritism, but you have no choice to transfer because of your age? I'm sorry, I don't get your I don't get your question, but I think this is not related to employee engagement, so I'll skip it. Do you equate mere participation of employees to office activities as engagement? Yes, of course, that's engagement. But then again, we have the 3 levels of engagement. So maybe these are the not engaged. These are the ones that are testing, just being there, being mediocre, right? Okay. So how can you deliver a directive instruction in a constructive way? Okay, this has nothing to do with employee engagement, but a directive or instruction, a technique is doing it in a constructive way is for you to make it into a positive note. Okay, so instead of saying something like, don't forget our meeting tomorrow, what you will do is, please remember to attend our meeting tomorrow. So negative, you make it to positive. Okay? So what online engagement activities would you suggest? I'm sorry, as of now, I can't think of any online engagement activities. Then aside from monetary reward, can you give an example on how we engage our employees during this time of pandemic? I don't know. Maybe you can have a webinar seminar too and just be kinky and do your TikTok, or yeah, your TikTok on live, right? You have the meeting and you do your TikTok. If employees are encountering mental health issues due to workload and expectations in time of COVID, what is a good approach to tell upper management about this without sacrificing the business side of things? Mental health issues due to workload. Maybe if there are mental health issues of certain people, I think what you can do is to maybe ask your the doctors if you're a big company, or you ask the psychologist, the psychiatrist on how to go about doing this, because there are some exercises, simple exercises that you might be able to apply. Are engagement satisfaction survey reliable for measuring employee engagement? I think employee satisfaction is only part of employee engagement. So you must look into this, and you must research a little further. And if there are studies, survey questionnaires available, maybe you can just buy them, no? Then, how can we make our employee engage again to the what? Wait, I can't understand this. Okay. How can we make our employees engaged again to the company right after the COVID? As an HR, what effective and efficient activities can we implement, since some staff might be disoriented, sad, etc.? Again, this is the work of the psychologist and the psychiatrist. If you have an psychology or psychology background, you can look into how this affects us. Again, we were discussing a while ago the well-being, and this affects us is in the social and emotional well-being, because we are not getting enough hugs. That's why I was giving you the virtual hugs. And some people who are living alone in the condominiums, you know, they're very stressed out, not really because of the COVID, but because they are living alone. So these are the things that are affecting us, and the best person to answer you, I'm sorry, I cannot answer this. will be, maybe you have to refer to the psychologist and the psychiatrist, okay? So what if the managers are not engaged? How do you re-engage or drive them? Okay, drive them crazy. Okay, no, that's just a joke. Okay, so what if the managers are not engaged? Actually, I do pity you if your managers are not engaged, but I hope your assistant manager or the other people in the team can give suggestions to the unengaged manager to do management or engaging activities. Okay. So how can a manager or coach mentor an employee who wants to stay at work because she is committed to stay but is not physically healthy to perform her assigned task? I think this is not an engagement issue. This is an HR issue, which I don't think I really can't answer because this really merits a discussion between you, the HR, your boss, and your legal department. If you want to make them stay, go, or reassign them to another job, no? Okay. During this ECQ, if monetary support is most needed, how do you go about the challenge of financial constraint? Thus, cannot provide for all employees' need. What are the alternative ways of encouraging employee engagement? I don't know what your company is, and I don't know if you're a big company or a small company, but some of my friends who are working and are other companies I know is they give out certain amount of money, and then it's going to be what's this, removed from the sick leave or vacation leave if available, or it's like lending them first the salary, and then it's going to be adjusted later on slowly. It's like giving them in gifts, no? So you give them the money now, excuse me, and then you adjust it later on. So I don't know how you can do this, but of course we have to somehow give, okay? Do you equate mere participation of employees to office activities as engagement? So it depends on the office activity. If the office activity is needed, or if the office activity is something that will bring in results, then of course, that is an engagement, no? Should we include employee engagement of HR's key result areas in time of now? I don't know what is WFH. What is WFH, people? Wait, let me research. Work from home. Okay, sorry. Okay, should we include employee engagement as part of the HRs in this time of work from home? Yes, because even if you're working from home, you must be engaged. I'll just tell you about me. I don't know the others, no? So part of my job is to update our Facebook page, and I work from home and I'm still engaged because I'm still as OC and as meticulous as I can be about all the details there to be placed in the Facebook. So I'm still engaged, no, and I still have a certain timetable that I want to be finished or done. So how many posts will I have in the week, no? So I'm still engaged. So even if you're working from home, you must be engaged. Okay. So next is as we consider our ano as we are considered as a manufacturing of food, we cannot stop our operation. Okay, so you're a food manufacturing and you cannot stop operation. What employee engagement activity do you suggest that we will do to keep employees engaged? Okay, I think your employees right now, especially those who are working in the plant, are engaged and they feel they belong because now is their time to shine. If you notice, we now we salute our garbage collector. We salute our, farmers. We salute our delivery personnel. We salute our security guards. you know, these are the people that we didn't even think of before, but we now salute them, no? So I think the factory workers in your food manufacturing company are definitely now more engaged. But you as the uh, company, or I think what you can give them is for their well-being. Like what? Physical well-being. So maybe you can just give them a means of transportation, especially those living a bit far from your factory. So give them a means of transportation to move from point A to point B. Huh? Okay. Next, can learning and development programs be crafted to better the emotional commitment of people? Yes, right? Learning and development programs can lead to emotional commitment. Should companies still try to convert actively disengaged employees or just focus on engaged employees? If so, what are the techniques to convert them? Number one, disengaged employees, you should first ask, why are they disengaged? So find out the reason first while they are disengaged. It could be they are just not having a job fit. It could be that they just don't like their coworkers. Okay, it could just be that they're having a personal problem. So you have to find out first, no? Before you really brand them as totally disengaged, okay? So how do you get the buy-in of the managers who see that employee engagement activities are unimportant or a waste of their time? Wait, let me get this. I don't get the question. How do you get the buy-in of managers who see that employee engagement activities are unimportant or a waste of time? Okay, so HR people, um, you are not only HR, but you must also be sellers. Okay, so what are you selling? You're selling the training needs. You're selling your ideas to the manager so that their staff can perform better. So how will you now make that? All you have to do is say that this engagement activity will make your people more perform more, or be better at performing their task if you do it, no? So I think that's the most logical way that for you to sell your employee engagement activities. Next, oops, I'm sorry. How do you inform manager that he or she is the reason for the employees not being engaged without offending him or her? Oh, this is very hard. If only my student, Miss Beng, if only this was a if this was a live session, I'd ask Miss Beng from Schumart to answer this for me, okay? How do you inform a manager that he or she is the reason for the employees not being engaged without offending him or her? So I don't think you can inform the manager because number one, it's unethical. So maybe you can just inform the boss that the manager is not the manager is one of the reasons why employees are not engaged. And good luck to you, okay? So next question, given the situation, what would you recommend the organization needs to do first? Do first on what? I'm sorry, I cannot answer this because I don't know what you mean. Situation, you mean the COVID, and what do you need to do now? Okay, I've already stated it in the last portion, okay? What was the last portion of my slide wherein I said, okay, you have to have three things: clarify expectations, have the materials and equipment that you need, and configure your jobs, okay? So next is, what is the best employee engagement program in promoting employees' emotional and psychological well-being in the new business normal to come after ECQ? I have no idea right now, but when you promote employees' emotional and psychological well-being, okay, remember that we are social creatures. We need to have a sense of belonging. I think we have to follow, I think we can basically look into the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, no? So we have the physical needs, the safety needs, and then it goes on. So this is emotional and psychological well-being. No, it depends kasi where you are in that ladder. Okay. Next, how would you measure employee engagement when your employee has mental health problems? What are the things, activities that you can recommend? Again, I'm sorry, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I don't think I have a right to answer this. Okay. Please give concrete examples on what kind of employee engagement activities we could implement now. So communication, I think, is the best form of employee engagement activity right now, right? So if you see here, again, I wrote, I removed it because my slides were so long. So, but anyway, communication is the best activity right now that you can do. Open lines of communication. Why? Because of this lockdown, actually, there's not much hierarchy that we can see because everybody's just communicating through one platform, which is through the text, through the web, through the internet. Okay, so we are geographically dispersed. Yes, the Philippines. Going live for town hall becomes a challenge considering internet connectivity is not stable. Will a recorded announcement be as effective as live session? It remains to be seen. Why don't you try it? Because it's better than nothing, no? Intrinsic motivation is believed to be the important enabler of commitment rather than extrinsic factors. I agree. Is this aligned with what was mentioned a while ago where managers are important enablers? Yes. Everything else being equal, okay, the next enabler is really the manager. So if we are all motivated people, the important enabler for us will no longer just be us, but will also be the manager. But please, I will not discount the fact that we as individuals are needed to be internally motivated. This is hard. Okay, what if your higher superior is pro-employee engagement, but your immediate supervisor is not? So I don't know if you can bypass your supervisor and go to your higher superior, but no need to worry because if the higher superior is pro-employee engagement, then he or she can direct the course of the department. How do you deal with employees who remain to be actively disengaged? It's despite the efforts of your HR to create engagement. Hard one also. So how will I create okay, maybe okay, this is just my personal opinion. I will ask a body system wherein one very engaged person will go with this disengaged person. Why? Because they're both contagious. So what I'll make sure is the engaged person, the actively engaged person, is more contagious so that he or she will bring out the best in the disengaged person. Okay? So what if your department head doesn't approve of your promotion to a different department because you handle your department's project with deliverables? Again, this is not employee engagement, so I cannot answer. Can you give a tip on how to engage an employee who is disoriented due to the COVID crisis? I think you should get a one-on-one training on monitoring or with this person, no? So go one-on-one. Wait, there's so many questions. I'm sorry, I'm also looking at my phone. Is the appreciation of the organization's mission and vision be an influence to workers' engagement? Yes, because an engagement, okay, a person will be engaged and committed to the company if first of all they have the same culture, they have the same ethics, they have the same goals, ambitions, and this is found in the mission and vision of the organization. Okay, what if employees want to stay in the company because of no choice due to age requirements? I don't get it. What if employees want to stay in the company? I don't get your question, but is there a problem? Because even if a person is old, but they do the job well, then that's fine. But if the person is old and then they're not doing the job well, then maybe you can give them a retirement package, no? What material do you usually post on your FB page to keep the employees engaged? It depends on what company you are working in. Because if you're an IT company, you can maybe post anything. But if you're a very traditional company, then I think you should ask your boss what you're supposed to put there, no? Would you recommend an employee survey to check engagement level of employees? At this point in time, no, because we're already at laws about the COVID. Please, let's not make our lives more miserable. As an officer, though I am working from home, what activities could I implement to my field personnel? What is LND? I don't know what is LND, but but anyway, if you have people in the field, what you can do is give them moral support. So how will you do this? You just have to be always in communication. You have to ask them, how was your day? Okay. Are you okay? You know, these things will go a long way. So it means to say that you must be in constant communication with them. So our company is thinking of doing virtual or online gatherings at this time to keep the employees engaged. What programs do you think is possible? Okay, actually this is possible. So maybe you can just have a nice activity at this point in time. I really can't think of any activity, but you can do some techniques like what we did with Minty, that game. It's like Kahoots, right? But it's on the internet, right? So for medium-sized company, we have a couple of members outside the country. What's the best approach to engage them to the Philippine teams? Again, I think just simply communication. How would you encourage your utility personnel like janitors, carpenters, etc., knowing that the office is physically closed and majority of the workforce are in work from home using the internet? I don't know what you mean, but I don't think they're physically going to the office. So maybe I'm sure they have phones and you can still text them about how they are, if they have gotten their funds or if they have gotten some food from the barangay. So it's just a matter of knowing you are concerned about their well-being, no? What if your boss is not concerned about your feeling during ECQ? Only her concern is accomplishment during work from home. Okay, let's not try to change people who are not like us. So let's not concern ourselves with your boss, and you just do your job. I think you will even be happier just knowing that you have done your job. Why? Because I always say, even if your boss does not appreciate what you're doing, but you know that you have done very well, you will still feel accomplished. Why? You don't need you don't need anybody to tell you that you're good. You yourself must know you are good. And once you know that you are good, you will have that sense of self-satisfaction. If your boss does not appreciate you now, don't worry. It will not go to waste because other people can see it, you know. It can be seen, not just by your boss, but by your colleagues, by other people. So eventually it will reflect. So don't be worried about that, no? Then, how do you keep our employees engaged if some of them are on forced leave while others will not get 100% of the basic salary since they are not part of the daily operation? This is a problem, not just of you, but a lot of other companies. So those people who are not working from home because we don't know how they can work from home, well then I think as HR you must find ways and means to even partially make them work from home so that at least partially they can get paid. I don't know what, I don't know how, Are we back on, Jay?
Yes
Jay,
po,
are we back
okay na
on?
po.
Okay,
Apo.
nawala kasi, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Okay, wait wait lang. Is this the screen that you're giving me? Jay, can you minimize my screen so that I can see my PowerPoint so I can refer to it? Thank you. Okay, so the next question is, you are intellectually engaged, but your superior is not. He or she perceives that you are a threat to him or her if you present your ideas. How do you deal with him or her? Okay, again, this is not an employee engagement issue. If this was a seminar, we would have very interesting answer. But again, my answer will be the same. So if you think you're really better than your boss, okay, so don't mind your boss. You just do go about your way. And I think, but sooner or later, you might want to go where you can grow your wings further, no? Okay, and then we have how an HR will also be included in employee engagement if they are responsible for implementing the activities. I'm sorry, I don't get your question. I can't answer this. What basic things do we need as HR to do in order to engage employees as we resume work to the company? Okay, so this will be best answered by the department heads. What engagement activities have they done? How did they communicate? How did they relay the tasks that they're assigning to them? So you can see already the engagement activities from here, no? So our company will be implementing a 3-day work from a previous 5 days work. How should we explain to the employees that they will not think of leaving the company and that they will not feel bad? Just again, communicate and explain well. A lot of people will not say anything because they know it's COVID. If they have an open perspective, I don't think they will be against this, no? And then another question is, how can you proceed with employee engagement if the finance always is a hindrance and give you a reason for budget constraints? Well, you can't do anything about it, no? Unless, of course, you really have to lobby, okay? Like if you're a salesperson, you know that when the customer says no, it doesn't mean to say you have to stop. You still have to continue going on and selling your product, no? So how effective is communication in engaging employees? Very, very effective. Because if you don't say anything, how will the employee know if they're doing well or not? If you don't communicate, how will the employee know what is the right and wrong thing to do? So these are your questions here. And for the chat, let me see. Okay, I have some more questions here and we still have a few minutes. I hope I can answer some of it. So let's see. Wait. How do we sustain employee engagement in the work from home? How do we measure success? I've answered this. So how do you engage international partner employees? Again, through the web, because we are now work from home. Do you equate mere participation of employees to office activities? I think I've answered this. So I think I've answered all of this, and I guess this will wrap up our employee engagement, drivers of employee engagement. And I do hope that you have learned a lot and have picked up a lot from this short employee engagement seminar. Thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. And I hope I've answered your queries correctly. Thank you again. And thank you, PMAP, and have a good day. And please remain safe and keep home. Thank you.